I think generally it was a great event yesterday. Well organized, well patronized. The number of dignitaries and the number of foreign heads of states and all of that. I think it was one of the highest ever witnessed in terms of the numbers of foreign dignitaries who were present. I share Mary's point about the speech being conciliatory, especially given how combative the campaign had been. It would have been easy for the incoming president to use this as an opportunity to further state certain things. And then again, because the outgoing or former President Akufo-Addo just delivered the State of the Nation's address, one would have thought that it would be an opportunity for the incoming president to rebut certain things and set the tone on a number of things and try to manage public opinion on a number of things that I believe going forward are going to be very critical areas. But I think he stayed away from that, remained conciliatory, said a bit of positive things about former President Akufo-Addo, extended felicitations to his main contender or competitor, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And then I think in terms of the speech, content was okay for me. Delivery was okay for me, apart from that initial protocol acknowledgement slip that happened with President Tinubu. Otherwise, I think it was all fine. He started off, trying to look at the global picture in terms of global geopolitics. This whole thing about Russia, China, the G7, the BRICS, and the complexity that it raises in terms of how nations such as ours would have to align properly. And of course, at this time, it even becomes more difficult in terms of the non-aligned agenda. What does non-alignment, what would it mean now to say that you are non-aligned, as Nkrumah and others had envisioned at that time? Because you then were dealing with just two opposing sides. But now, you have multiple geopolitical forces, and so aligning yourself is quite a difficult one. Talked about the global challenge with climate and the challenges that come with it in terms of pandemics, epidemics, and he talks about it as when and not if, because it's almost like a certainty that at some point something would happen. Also talked about our region, which is in sort of a crisis, given the Burkinabes and the Nigerians and the Malians, the decisions they've made to exit ECOWAS and all of that. And then came back home to talk a bit about our challenges and what he intends to do, and urging citizens to play their part. Highlighted some of the big issues that we all heard him say or champion during the campaign: 24-hour economy, transparency and accountability, the issues of governance and constitutional review processes, and the point about resetting Ghana. And so I think generally it was an okay speech for me. And I like the fact that he himself acknowledges it's more about actions rather than words, because we've heard it before. If it were words, President Akufo-Addo would have been lauded. But we realized along the line that he was more of words than action. And so President Mahama acknowledging that and recognizing that at the end of the day, we are going to judge him by his actions and not his words, for me was also something that is laudable. So, yeah, generally it was good, and we look forward to what he will be doing. He has the benefit of being a former president, all the experiences one needs, people who may have betrayed him, people who may have underperformed, people who may have been disloyal, even though they pretended to be loyal, and what it means to be a former president. He's been there before. And I believe all those lessons would guide him going into the next 4 years.